All Wales People First Annual Report 2013 to 2014.
We went through a big change last year. We got rid of the office and we had a new director and a business manager. This year we are seeing the results of that change. The money spent on office and administration has been cut in half. As a result, we have been able to put more money into the National Council. We are going to tell you about what we have done between April 2013 and March 2014. We will use these headings to tell you about it. These headings are called our strategic aims, and they are: number 1, ensuring people have a voice. Number 2, making the voices stronger. Number 3, making the voices heard. Number 4, making communities stronger. And number 5, making the organisation stronger.
Number 1, ensuring people have a voice. We wanted to provide information in the right way and at the right time so that people with learning disabilities can have greater control over their lives. Talkback. Our national magazine Talkback is important in keeping the membership up to date on news from groups. We write 4 editions a year for our membership, and it helps to keep people connected across Wales.
The National Council met 5 times during 2013 to 2014. There was good attendance, but not as good as last year. Unfortunately, 2 of our North Wales reps had long periods of sickness and were not able to make the meetings. We don't yet have any representatives from Anglesey, Conwy, Flintshire and Merthyr. North Wales reps told us there have been changes to advocacy services in the area. For this reason, there has been no support for people from Anglesey, Conwy and Flintshire to attend National Council meetings. The National Council talks about how cuts to services and welfare benefits are affecting them. They talked about how this affects the money they have to live on and whether cuts are a threat to independent living. All Wales People First work with Learning Disability Wales and Disability Wales to hold roadshows to help people understand the new benefits system. In December, the National Council held a strategy day. Local groups were shown the tools to start planning their business plans. Groups looked at how they could work together and thought about funding that could replace the advocacy grant. Our members face 3 big areas of change. The loss of the advocacy grant scheme that funds many local groups. The welfare benefit changes and the fear many members feel. The effect of the new Social Services and Wellbeing Act in Wales. Each of these on their own will have a huge effect on the learning disability world, but put together they present the biggest change People First has seen for a long time. The National Council has been the right place for talking about these things.
Community interest company Barod. Barod has been running for over a year now. They have done some work for All Wales People First and Learning Disability Wales already. Barod sells services like research, mentoring, training and consultancy, and they work in social media. They make information easier to understand. Their success is really important to us. We supported their official launch at the Senedd. Annual Conference, 30 Years and Counting, the 14th and 15th of October 2013. The annual conference was different this year. Learning Disability Wales, Mencap Cymru, All Wales Forum of Parents and Carers and All Wales People First all came together to plan a 2-day celebration of the closure of the long-stay institutions in Wales. The title of the conference was 30 Years and Counting. We looked back at the All Wales strategy and how it changed the lives of people with a learning disability. The event was supported by the Welsh Government and held at the Vale Hotel Spa Resort in Hensall. 144 people attended the 2-day conference. There was a gala dinner with guest speaker Assembly Member Jane Hutt, and this was followed by a disco. Here are some of the highlights of the 2 days.
The conference was chaired by the LEDAG co-chairs Professor Roger Banks and Sophie Hinksman. Joe Powell, Director of All Wales People First, and Pauline Young, Chair of All Wales Forum of Parents and Carers, talked about how people with learning disabilities are more involved in society. Cardiff People First gave a presentation on the Ely Hospital project. Gwenda Thomas, the Deputy Minister for Social Services, spoke about how people with learning disabilities are much more involved politically and in public life. People had an opportunity to share what they liked in their lives. There were also discussions about advocacy, welfare benefits, community life such as where you live, family life, hate crime, health services, self-directed services and transition. A number of ideas came out of the discussions. People value advocacy because it gives them a voice, it gives them confidence, helps them to make decisions, it helps them keep their independence, gives them choice and control, and helps them to reach their dreams. It makes a big difference to people's lives. There are lots of fears about cuts to benefits and services, including advocacy. Choice, control and independence are important to people. Attitudes towards people with learning disabilities are important. People need to understand them better. There needs to be more support for families, including parents with a learning disability. Better communication is needed, particularly between services. People with learning disabilities want to be employed. Professionals, parents and carers, and people with a learning disability all enjoyed the conference. A short film has been made showing delegates talking about the conference and about some of the issues that are important to them. The film will be available on the new LEDAG website. Big Lottery Fund project application. We spent a lot of time working on a lottery bid and sent it in on the 14th of February 2014. The project, entitled New Directions, will set up an online self-advocacy hub covering a wide range of issues such as politics, health, relationships, discrimination and bullying, and the hub will be open to everyone. Strategic aim number 2, making the voices stronger. We wanted to improve the skills of the National Council so that they can engage more effectively as advocates, self-advocates, and with partnership agencies. Training needs. Training will be an important part of the self-advocacy hub. We also want to attract young people with learning disabilities so that they can learn about self-advocacy, so that they know about their rights and how to get themselves heard.
Website and social media. Our National Director, Joe Powell, has made great use of social media. He updates the All Wales People First Facebook page continually, as well as his Director's page, and Talkback now contains a section called Facebook Roundup. The Director also has a Twitter account which he uses to update the membership on important issues.
Legacy. In the last annual report, we told you about Colin Vivian's donation following his death. Colin wanted All Wales People First to become a registered charity. He wanted the money to be used to train support workers. He saw this as the best way of improving the quality of work done in the People First movement. When we applied for charitable status, the Charity Commission wanted to see the trustees in control of all aspects of All Wales People First. All Wales People First pride themselves on being led by people with a learning disability. The National Council entrusted financial and legal matters to the trustees. To become a charity, this would have to change and the trustees would be responsible for everything. This would take power away from the National Council. At the annual general meeting, the membership voted against this change, even if it meant we would not get the donation. We wrote to Colin's family, who accepted the reason behind the decision. And to our surprise, they agreed that the donation should still be given. We are now working on the training design, making sure we will fit with the new Social Services Act and any other changes the Welsh Government might bring in.
Membership. Last year, the National Council talked about the types of membership of the organisation. The National Council said membership should enable people to join up with other groups, find out what people across Wales are doing, get your voice heard nationally and get your problems solved at a national level, tell people what you're doing, work together on different things, be part of a watchdog, have a voice to the government, and get more skills and personal development. As a result of these discussions, it was decided to take a motion to the annual general meeting to increase the types of membership to include group membership. The membership voted. 22 members were in favour, 1 member voted against the idea.
Supporting individuals to make a difference. All Wales People First has supported individual people to apply for and hold public positions, for example as trustees, in public appointments, such as the co-chair of the new LADAG, and as representatives to the LADAG. We have supported members to take part in consultations, such as the Social Services Complaints process through the Making Things Better project. We have supported members to take part in MENCAP regional events. And we have supported council members and other members to make a difference in the following ways. Taking part in the NHS Equalities and Human Rights Conference. Taking part in a hate crime event at the Senedd with our partners MENCAP. Going for interviews for the position of co-chair of the Learning Disability Advisory Group. Making presentations. Taking part in media training.
Appointment to the Learning Disability Advisory Group. With our support, our National Council Chair, Sophie Hinksman, became the co-chair of LADAG. The National Director is also a member of LADAG, representing the membership of All Wales People First. Being a part of this group makes sure that we have a strong voice and will be heard by the Minister for Health and Social Care in the Welsh Government.
Strategic aim number 3, making the voices heard. We wanted to inform people with a learning disability about their rights as voters and encourage them to vote and engage with politicians. The general election of 2015 will be the next time we can do something about this target. In the meantime, All Wales People First has kept the membership politically up to date through the National Council and in other ways, such as learning disability awareness training. Although most of the training events were held last year, there were a small number of outstanding training sessions that were completed this year. Involving people with learning disabilities in the training has made sure their voice will be heard by public service providers such as the police, leisure services and housing services. And this has helped those services to understand the real issues and obstacles for people with learning disabilities in their local communities.
Talkback. Talkback reports 4 times a year on the work of the National Director Joe Powell. Joe is moving more and more into political matters. The magazine tells members about his work and why things are politically important. Talkback articles with a political message included the 30 Years and Counting Conference report about the speeches from Gwenda Thomas and Jane Hutt AM, welfare rights advice, reports on campaigns in Powys and Pembrokeshire against the cuts in bus services, the report on the Stand Up, Speak Out campaign, the Human Rights Act training in Pembrokeshire, the report on the Welfare Benefits Roadshow, the Access for All Forum in Blaenau Gwent, the Welsh Government's Hate Crime Framework, the Director's appointment to the Board of Care and Social Services Inspectorate for Wales, You and Your Money, the 1000 Lives Project, The Future, Our Rights in Hard Times. Hate crime. The Director Joe Powell represents All Wales People First on the Disability Hate Crime Action Group, which advises the Welsh Government about hate crime issues. The group also plays a part in writing important policy, such as the Hate Crime Framework. The group highlights issues of hate crime amongst disabled groups and finds ways to deal with it. The group is made up of organisations such as Learning Disability Wales, Mencap Cymru, Disability Wales, the police and the Crown Prosecution Service, amongst others.
Strategic aim number 4, making communities stronger. We wanted to set up a system that enables local groups to become more involved and accepted in their local community. Time banking. The National Council believes that time banking is a way of keeping local groups going because this is a system that is based on time credits instead of money. At the moment, Carmarthenshire People First is creating a time bank through the local group. This is the local person-to-person time bank. They are developing training and information, and we want to work with them to share their experience with other groups in Wales.
Pan Gwent People First and Sustainable Social Services. Pan Gwent was encouraged by Welsh Government policy, which said that local authorities should work together on a regional basis. All Wales People First supported the local groups in the Gwent area to make a formal partnership called Pan Gwent People First. A donation was given to them by the dissolved or gone bust organisation Advocacy Action Wales. The money was used to employ a worker for Pan Gwent People First to help them get going. All Wales People First supported 12 meetings of the Pan Gwent Steering Group and employed and supervised a worker from January 2012 through to March 2013. The group has also held a conference, which was well supported, to share information about what each group did and get their views on Pan Gwent People First. The group adopted a new constitution which allows them to work together and get money together. We will share their experience with you and help other groups in Wales to work together in the same way. Meetings have also been held with Monmouthshire County Council to discuss a new approach to working together in Monmouthshire. Pan Gwent has now been floated off and now manages itself.
Herio. During the National Council Strategy Day, the West Wales groups Pembrokeshire, Ceredigion and Carmarthenshire set themselves the task of working together as a region. These 3 groups call themselves Herio and invited Powys to join them. Herio once had a very successful campaign at the Senedd about the rights of parents with a learning disability. The next campaign about accommodation wasn't so successful, and the Herio meetings stopped. To get Herio going again, the group worked on a path plan and looked at the goals they wanted to work together on. Learning Disability Awareness Training. The success of this project was celebrated in Cardiff Bay in June. The event was attended by the Deputy Minister, who congratulated all the partners for working together. There are now 14 local People First groups in Wales that can deliver the training.
Strategic aim number 5, making the organisation stronger. We wanted to appoint and train a new director who has a learning disability to lead the organisation's development and achieve the aims of the organisation at a local and national level. The National Director. Last year, we reached our ambition to appoint a National Director with a learning disability. Joe Powell's role has been a real success, and this year he has gone on to join many national groups which have been a big influence. This has very much raised the profile of People First. He has joined or taken part in the Disability Hate Crime Action Group, the Learning Disability Advisory Group, or LADAG, Research Autism as a trustee, the Safeguarding Protection Advisory Network, Learning Disability Wales as a trustee, the Welsh Government Stakeholder Group about the Autistic Spectrum Disorder. He has chaired a session of UK People First in Birmingham, and he's taken part in a national hate crime film made by Race Equality First. He has taken part in a film made by the NHS about barriers to employment. He is a member of the Voluntary Sector Consortium made up of All Wales People First, All Wales Forum of Parents and Carers, Learning Disability Wales and MENCAP. He is part of the Independent Living Framework, Wales Alliance for Citizen-Directed Support, the Community of Practice for Challenging Behaviour, the UK's National Wellbeing Academy, the Autistic Spectrum Stakeholder Group, the Wales Centre for Behaviour Change, the Steering Group for Antipsychotic Drug Reduction in Primary Care for Adults with Learning Disabilities, the North Wales Communication Hub, the Care and Social Services Inspectorate for Wales Advisory Board as a member of the board, Co-Production Wales as a board director, the Strength-Based Approaches Study Group, the Welsh Government's Cross-Party Group on Disability, and the Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual and Transgender Action Group as chair. The director has also been on some training courses: Public Engagement Theory and Practice, Effective Facilitation, Easy Read Level 1, Confidence at Public Events. Joe's also worked for 3 days with Media Wales as an intern. The South Wales Echo wrote an article about Joe and his life and his job. He also got interviewed by Able Radio. Joe's talents will make sure we are strong in the disability community and in other organisations. We wanted to make sure we supported Joe to complete his university course. He started this before he got the job with All Wales People First, and we see this as being very important for Joe's long-term development.
Restructuring the organisation. We changed our staff team and we changed our office. We think we are now in a better position to support our new director. But we have also saved money by sharing office space with another learning disability organisation. We didn't stick to the original plan completely, but instead we decided to have 3 equal members of staff, which comprise of a national director, a business manager, and the National Council Development Officer. The new structure did not cost us any extra money, and we believe it provides excellent value for money. A United Kingdom People First. Last year, Darren Locke, then the chair of the National Council, made a visit to People First Scotland, hoping to join up People First across the whole of the United Kingdom. The National Director, the Chair and the Vice Chair of the National Council went to a UK-wide conference in April where Joe co-chaired. They talked about their first constitution as a United Kingdom People First. A new United Kingdom People First will be powerful in fighting changes to welfare benefits and other issues which fall under the control of the Westminster Government.
Funding. The Welsh Government fund All Wales People First. We have no additional funding as yet, but we are writing a funding bid to the big lottery. We have also been a member of the British Institute of Learning Disabilities Steering Group for the Advocacy Grant Scheme. All Wales People First Annual Report 2013 to 2014.